Yo, what's good YouTube? I'm back with another reaction video, and we got the real reason why Larry Bird hates Bill Laimbeer. I mean, I already know kind of the real reason why, because he's a dirty player. I know that's one, but let's see what this video hitting for him, man. Let's get straight into it, man. Y'all know I keep it short and sweet, man. Appreciate the love and support, y'all. We're gonna keep running it up, gonna keep grinding, gonna keep going, man. But yeah, let's get straight into this video, man. Let's see what this is hitting for. Larry Legend is here. Larry Legend is here. Let's get it, man. Straight into the video.
If there's one rivalry that NBA fans have been hearing about for decades, it's the one between Larry Bird and Bill Laimbeer. Their feud has been going on since the 80s, and it doesn't look like it's coming to an end anytime soon. Let's trace the history of their rivalry, starting with a little background on both of these players. Larry Bird and Bill Laimbeer entered the professional ranks at the same time. The only difference was that Bird got the 6th overall pick in the 1978 NBA draft, while Laimbeer was selected in the 3rd round a year later, and this was despite the fact that Bird was just returning for his senior year at Indiana State when he got picked. Both Bird and Laimbeer grew up in the Midwest, with Bird finding his roots in Indiana and Laimbeer hailing from Chicago. Crazily enough,
Backed by Malone. Larry with the break in the middle. Bird a runner. Yes.
the two also played college basketball for a Hoosier State school, but that's where the similarities come to an end. Bird and Laimbeer come from very different families. Bird lost his father at a young age and grew up in a very humble household. On the other hand, Laimbeer's father was a prominent Owens, Illinois executive. The differences seeped onto the court as the two players played different positions. Bird was a forward, while Laimbeer was a bruising center. When it came to feuding, Bird relied on his trash talk, while Laimbeer thrived on his physicality. But wait till you find out that this whole thing was rivalry at first sight.
Finds Bird. Won't go. Bird the rebound. Over his head to McHale.
The two immediately disliked each other. Their feud started all the way back in the mid-80s. By this time, Laimbeer had established himself as one of the best players in the Eastern Conference. He was playing with the Detroit Pistons, and his team was on the rise, which naturally made him a moving target for many jealous rivals. One of them happened to be the Boston Celtics, which is the team that Larry Bird played for. Other Celtics players tried to keep it civil when they were asked about their opinions on Laimbeer. Celtics center Robert Parrish basically said he'd rather keep his opinions to himself, because if you have nothing nice to say about someone, say nothing at all. But Bird stayed true to his reputation as an outspoken player. When he was asked the same question, he said, "We don't like him that good." And that's when the public got to know that there was some beef going on between these two.
Right, too tiny. Larry a little fake down the lane between the legs to Roby. Suddenly fouled. Oh, we gotta see that one again.
But little did fans know that things would soon escalate beyond a few hostile words. That's right, things soon got physical.
14. Bird, little fake down the lane. Oh, Larry Bird. What a play by Bird.
It was the Eastern Conference Finals in 1987, and the Birds' Boston Celtics were up against Laimbeer's Detroit Pistons. It was Game 3, and the Celtics were leading 2-0. I'm sure Laimbeer must have been extremely frustrated to be losing to his biggest rival, but what he did next was just inexcusable. The scuffle started in the 4th quarter of the game. Laimbeer roughly pulled down Bird, smashing him into the floor as he moved to assist Dennis Rodman on defense. Bird didn't take long to retaliate as he threw a punch at Laimbeer. Both of them were now on the floor, and people rushed in to separate the two players. But Bird wasn't going to let Bill off this easily. He flung a basketball in Laimbeer's direction, and the ball hit him hard on the shoulder. Both players released statements after the game. Many believed Laimbeer started the fight when he pulled Bird down, but Laimbeer tried to justify his actions. He said Bird went up for the shot, and it looked like Rodman was going to undercut him. I grabbed hold of Larry to break my fall. But let's just say that many fans saw right through his lies. Bird didn't buy his story either. In response, he said, "Yeah, right, he was trying to break his fall. And when I threw the ball, I was just trying to get it to the ref." The scuffle continued after that, as Laimbeer sniped back with sarcastic praise for Bird's passing ability. In the end, it was Larry who got the final word in, as he challenged his rival to a one.
Dang, y'all saw that cut on his head? What that was on his head? He get cut or something?
In the end, it was Larry who got the final word in, as he challenged his rival to a one-on-one battle. But that was just the beginning of the drama.
Beneath him and probably with a little off balance.
Bird with the steal behind the back to Nate Archibald. Back to Bird.
All right, fantastic.
The two rivals stayed hostile to each other throughout the 90s, and a huge part of it was because of the intense rivalry between their teams. Ultimately, Laimbeer's Pistons gained the upper hand against Bird's Celtics as they won back-to-back titles in 1989 and 1990. The Celtics, on the other hand, were going into a slow decline. After they lost the Eastern Conference Finals rematch against the Pistons in 1988, Bird started to decline as well as he suffered a back injury. After the 1991 to 1992 season, Bird announced his retirement from the sport after playing just 45 games that season. His retirement ceremony, Larry Bird Night, took place in February 1993.
And away with 12.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely coming too in the works.
Celtics have got 3 seconds. 2. Bird, a runner. It's good.
The sportscasting icon, Bob Costas, couldn't help but bring up Larry's rivalry with Laimbeer. He pointed out that Laimbeer wasn't present at the event and asked Larry what he'd tell Bill if he was here. Staying true to himself, Larry answered that he'd probably hang Bill up in the rafters with his jersey. But of course, Laimbeer didn't let Larry get away with these comments so easily. He was pretty vocal about the fact that he thought Bird was playing horribly before he finally threw in the towel. He made digs at Bird's last few seasons, which hadn't been the smoothest. Towards the end of his career, Bill was quoted as saying that he didn't want to go out like Larry Bird. I'm sure that must have stung. But as much as Bill was trash-talking Larry, his own stats weren't looking too good. Laimbeer eventually retired early in the 1993-94 season, soon after Larry. During his last stretch, Laimbeer's stats were looking worse than what Larry's had been towards the end, and this was despite the fact that Larry was still dealing with a back injury. Even though the two players left the NBA, their mutual dislike didn't end there. Their rivalry extended well into their retirement. They've had one of the bitterest rivalries in the NBA, and they're not stopping anytime soon. Pretty soon, they'll be throwing shade at each other half a century into their feud, which is just so crazy to think about, because you only live like, what, 80 years? Imagine hating someone so passionately for most of your life, constantly bringing them up just so you can tear them down. I'm sure the feud is bringing negative energy into both of their lives.
Darren Day kept it alive. Behind the back to Bird, Darren Day.
Whoa, that was a good pass right there now, buddy.
Oh, my.
You learning from the best.
But the two are just too stubborn to put an end to it. In 2008, Laimbeer took a dig at the way Bird was doing an Indiana Pacers executive, saying he'd probably quit if he was in a similar situation. Laimbeer went on to emphasize that he has no plans to keep in touch with Bird, as the two of them had never been friends. Way to state the obvious. It's one thing disliking someone, but another thing entirely to have them living in your mind rent-free. And it isn't just Larry who's stuck in Bill's mind, it's the other way around too. Recently, Bird said that Laimbeer was a dirty player. He confessed that he didn't like Bill, both on and off the court. In an interview with Bill Simmons in 2013, he explained that he hated Laimbeer so much because he was a dirty player who would deliberately try to hurt his opponents. Larry said that he'd understand that Bill had to do what he had to do to get his team across, but what was unacceptable was the aggression with which Laimbeer would strike. Other Piston players wouldn't try to maim you, and this is what set Laimbeer apart, according to Larry. And that's how Larry Bird and Bill Laimbeer's feud has been going on for decades, without any signs of coming to an end soon. See you in the next video.
Alright, and that's it, y'all. Yeah, that's crazy though, man. That is crazy. Yeah, but yeah, man, I'm telling you, that Bill Laimbeer, man, he's a dirty player, bro. He is dirty. But I definitely found some information on him, definitely, for sure, especially Bill Laimbeer. You know, to see some of his background. But it's like, damn, bro, like, come on, you don't gotta be like that. I mean, I get that I'm not saying he sucked, but I get that, okay, you gotta try to take the best player out, this and that, yada, yada, yada. Like, nah, man, come on. That's just crazy. But leave your comments down below what y'all think, man. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that like button. Turn on that bell. And that's about it, man. I love y'all. Deeply appreciate y'all, man. Got an instrumental mixtape dropping June 23rd. And that's about it. We're going to wrap it up here. I'm out. Peace.